It's time for business news with Ari Rabinovitch. Let's start with the Canadian economy. Apparently, it's doing better than many expected, Ari.
Yes, Erica. So it turns out we were not in a recession at the end of last year, according to the latest revisions to November's GDP, gross domestic product. So when we look back at the revisions, it turns out the economy grew by 0.2%, slightly higher than the essentially flat reading that was predicted by analysts. And that means no recession last year as originally thought. So good news in terms of economic growth, but also could mean that interest rates will stay higher for even longer than originally thought on our side of the border.
All right, moving along to Boeing. It continues to deal with the fallout from that Alaska Airlines incident earlier this month.
Yes, so it's not so much about how the company performed in the latest quarter. In fact, it actually did pretty well, beating on the top and bottom line in the last quarter, but that's not taking into account the Alaska Airlines incident that occurred earlier this month when a door plug blew off mid-air. In response to that, in the conference call at the earnings report, the CEO, David Calhoun, responded saying, "We caused the problem," essentially taking responsibility. Investors seem to have liked that, even though the company suspended its forward guidance while it deals with the aftermath. Shares still went up 5% today.
All right, and finally, many Canadians have been looking south for any hint that interest rates will drop, but we didn't exactly get any concrete answers today.
Exactly, and it's not to say that our economy follows in lockstep with the U.S. economy in terms of borrowing costs, but the U.S. Federal Reserve today made no surprises in keeping interest rates unchanged. But what investors may have been disappointed about was there was no sign of an interest rate cut in March, the early sign, as some may have hoped. It's now looking like it's going to be late spring or early summer at best.
We'll have to wait a little longer. Okay, thanks for that, Ari. That's City News business editor Ari Rabinovitch.